Mariners lose 11-6. They fall to 26-25, and they lose the first of the 3-game series against the Pirates. I'm going to very quickly go over what happens. McCutchen homers in the first. Julio homers in the first. Trammell singles home run in the second. Carlos Santana homers. Brian Reynolds triples. We'll talk about that play to score a couple of runs to make it 4-2. Sawinski homers to make it 6-2. Brian Hayes homers to make it 7-2. Julio singles home a couple of runs to make it 7-4. Brian Reynolds singles home a run to make it 8-4. Sawinski homers. Marcano homers. Crawford homers. Reynolds homers. Lots and lots and lots and lots of them. Okay. So there were a lot of positives that I took from this game. Number one, JP Crawford has really looked good lately. Not number one there, to be honest with you, actually. I'll take that. That's apparently a rewind noise. I'm tired. I was thinking about recording this video tomorrow morning, but I'm up and I'm a little agitated, I guess, off of twitter.com, but it is what it is. Julio looked great tonight. 2 for 4, crushes an opposite field homer. Believe that's 4 of 5 games now that he's had multiple hits. He's going to be just fine, folks. But JP Crawford homers through. The lack of a marine layer, we will definitely be talking about that. Cal Raleigh reaches 3 times, absolutely stung a double. Taylor Trammell made hard contact a few times. We'll kind of talk about him in the negatives, unfortunately. Chris Flexen saves the bullpen by giving him the last 2. Pretty much the end of the positives. All right. By the way, Raleigh doubled twice. I think that's worth pointing out. All right. The negatives. Before we get into the absolute paranoia of Seattle Mariner baseball fans, let's talk about the negatives of the fact that George Kirby was bad tonight. George Kirby gave up 9 hits and 7 runs and 4 homers, and we'll talk about the 4 homers. We will. But if you watch George Kirby pitch tonight, and your main takeaway, I guess we'll just get into it now. If your takeaway from that game was, oh, George Kirby just got screwed by the bouncy ball. What? He was awful. His command was awful. George Kirby has been fantastic all year. All year. Outside of a couple of, really one bad start before this. He was garbage tonight. And it's going to happen. It doesn't mean George Kirby is garbage. On the contrary, George Kirby's really good. But young pitchers have bad starts. And guess what George Kirby did tonight? He had a terrible start. It sucks. It really does. And look, the ball was flying out of Safeco tonight. And I'm not correcting that. I'm calling it Safeco. You know what I mean. And there were a couple balls, I guess, that I was a little surprised went over the fence after first contact. The main one for me was actually Brian Hayes, but Brian Hayes certainly thought he got all of it. And he knew that was over the fence. He did his little hop, skip, jump thing. Here's my thing. Let's just say they were playing with the bouncy ball tonight. And let's even say that Kirby was struggling to grip the baseball tonight. Okay. The Pittsburgh Pirates were playing with the same baseball. They threw that same baseball. And you scored 6. 6 should usually be enough. But it wasn't tonight. So if you were playing a game of bouncy ball here, then the offense takes the blame here. Why'd you only score 6 runs when they were playing with the bouncy ball? Huh? Against a really good pitcher in Mitch Keller. But no, it's always somebody else's fault. It's just, it wasn't the fact that it was 80 degrees out and there was no marine layer and there were terrible pitches thrown by pitchers who throw 96 to 98. No, it can't be that. It's got to be something else. It's always someone else's fault. Just a bad pitching game. from two guys who are normally good. I get it. It's frustrating. And I hope that it wasn't that case. I really hope it's not the case. I hope everyone is wrong, and I hope I am right. A lot of times it's the opposite, where I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right. It would suck if and I also understand Major League Baseball has not earned our trust or anything close to it. But come on. Those were bad pitches to a lineup that was kind of due for an offensive eruption. Like, no, Pittsburgh is not a playoff team or anything close to it. But Andrew McCutchen's a good hitter. Brian Reynolds is a really good hitter. Jack Sawinski has 70 grade power. Brian Hayes is talented. Tucupita Marcano slugging 468. Let's not act like these were guys who just can't hit the baseball over the fence tonight. It was one bad event from one really bad start. Can't be that, though. It's got to be someone else's fault. Come on. I'm very surprised by the results of this game. Don't get me wrong either in that regard, obviously. Like, I think the over-under was 7 in this game, and I just happened to see it like scroll across, and I was thinking, I don't know if I see 7 runs tonight. Oh, there were more than 7 runs tonight. But sometimes pitchers have bad days. And George Kirby is going to have games like this every once in a while because he doesn't have elite stuff. He has very good stuff and he has outstanding command. But very good stuff can be hit by major league hitters, excuse me. Thank goodness we don't have to watch major league pitchers bat anymore. It happens. It happens. And if it comes out today that some lucky fan caught the baseball and cut it open and it's like literally made out of one of those rackets, the racket balls, then I'll take it all back. Except for the fact, why didn't the Mariners score more runs? Why didn't the Mariners have a better offensive game? Because it wasn't a case of them playing with different baseballs. Everybody had the same chance to hit tonight. The Mariners got 6 runs. That's pretty good. The Pirates got 11 runs. That's a lot better. Some other negatives. Taylor Trammell does hit the baseball hard a couple times and does drive in a run, but it's a really bad defensive effort. He is too afraid, and maybe this is a little bit on Julio. I don't know. I don't know if anybody called the baseball, but he took an atrocious route in that outfield on that double. He got a horrible read on Austin Hedges' single right before the triple, and that triple's on him. It should have been a hit, but if you dive for that baseball, you have to catch it. And since that wasn't going to happen, and he missed it by a good foot, you need to just get in front of that baseball because you cost 2 runs. Yeah, it was not a very good defensive game from a guy that he's usually a pretty solid defensive player, I think. 110 was terrible. He is definitely the guy who has to go down when the Mariners make their bullpen moves. So, I think he's got a chance to be a decent reliever, or a chance to be more than a decent reliever. I really like his stuff. But he's not ready for this. Not ready for this at all. Man, 7 home runs is a lot. I get it. I get why people are skeptical because the ball has not been flying out of Safeco Field for most of this year. But they were bad pitches against pretty good major league hitters. Like the one home run that surprised me the most, the best pitch made was Julio Rodriguez. And if you're thinking Julio Rodriguez can't take a ball out to right center on any pitch, then you're have no idea what you're talking about. He's one of the strongest players in Major League Baseball. I mean, those balls were smoked. And they're good hitters. Like, the Pirates aren't good, but they're certainly capable of a night like that, especially when the starting pitcher you're facing doesn't have good command. And Kirby had pretty good control, really good control. Only walked one batter. But his command sucked. It sucked. And you can do whatever you want. You're more than entitled to your opinion on this. It's not always true. There are things that you are not entitled to your opinion on. There are things you can say. You can say whatever you want. You're not going to jail. This is America. That was not meant to be done in a Randy Marsh voice, but it happened. You can say whatever you want. You are not entitled to your opinion on a lot of things. On this being a subjective thing, yeah, I get it. I just think you're off base. I think it is absolutely insane to not give the Pirates credit and also to not say that George Kirby stunk tonight. Would expect him to bounce back very well in his next start because he is a very, very good Major League pitcher. But tonight, he wasn't. Wasn't anywhere close. Way too much of the plate tonight. But no, it's got to be a bouncy ball fault. The fact that he was throwing the ball middle. No, that's just because the ball was made out of a Callaway 3-piece. Come on. Anywho, bummer of a loss, but also, like, here's the other thing. You just won 4 straight. You'd won 5 of 6. George Kirby had been so good. It all kind of was leading to something like this, folks. It's okay to lose baseball games. It is okay. I wish they would have played a little better. I certainly wish they would have pitched better. But losses happen. You just had a streak where you gave up a total of 7 runs in 4 games. And if we go back to Sunday, 10 runs in 5 games. Regression happens. In this case, it was a baseball that was flying out of the park in 0 I can't even say the words. There was nothing preventing the baseball from being crushed tonight. It's okay. It's okay to lose games, and it's okay to be disappointed with how Kirby pitched. And it's also okay if you think that it had everything to do with a bouncy ball. I totally disagree with you. 100 billion% disagree with you. So Saturday, we've got Luis Castillo against Roncy Contreras. Would be nice to see Castillo, back at it. He looked really good. I know it was against AA Midland, but he looked really good in that last start against Oakland on Monday. Be nice to see back-to-back. Expect we will. But I expected a low-scoring game tonight between Kirby and Keller, and we got 11-6. So that's why we play the games. Sorry for the rantish stuff, but it's how I feel. You can follow me on Twitter at Crawford_MILB. Please hit like and please hit subscribe. We're so close to the 400. Would love to get there. Love to get there. I'm going to start pushing it more on that old Twitter machine, but it'd be really nice if we could get there very soon and maybe get to 500 by June. We'll see what happens. It'd be awesome if we can finish the year with 1,000. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you just blaming the bouncy ball? I normally hit like on comments for everything. If you're just going to blame the bouncy ball, you're going to be testing me. That's not what I think happened tonight. Bummer. Not well pitched by either pitcher, but I think we got to be a little better than this, folks.